Welcome back. Episode 36, maybe?
And we made it.
We made it. Barely.
Last night.
We did. I thought you were talking about like the critical point of when this has to be edited and released.
No.
Down to the wire again. Sunday after church, when we were recording this, we had bad storms. Saturday evening. We had a weekend full of events. Or mainly one event at church, right?
Yeah.
That we're involved with. And then we had to kind of
I'm the gopher.
Had to rearrange everything for the storms to come in Saturday evening, right?
Yes.
And it didn't hit us. It hit all around, kind of.
That was weird. It did hit all around. Seemed like.
I think Friday night was worse to me because of all the lightning and thunder, and we had some hail.
That was Saturday morning at 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's true.
That was not
4
Friday.
4 a.m.
4 a.m.
So if it's 1 o'clock in the morning, do you say Friday
Saturday
night? Do you say Friday night?
No.
Friday night
Saturday.
at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Saturday.
You say Saturday.
Saturday. That's Saturday.
But that was rough. Rougher to me.
Yeah. But it wasn't nothing.
Yeah, we didn't have to deal with the tornadoes or anything like that, which was fine by me.
Yeah,
but it's one of those 4 to 5 hour ordeals where you're just sitting there watching the weather.
They just keep popping up.
Watching James Spann. Yeah, because...
If you don't know, we live in Alabama. Right,
and James Spann, if you've never heard of him, he's the main weather guy for... It's a region. I wouldn't just say Alabama, would you? Surely he's known a little bit creeping into Tennessee, Georgia, Mississippi, that type thing.
I don't know.
It's got to have a following, right?
It's the only one I watch.
Respect the Polygon. That's what he says. Respect the Polygon. So, but I heard 32 people died from the tornadoes.
I never heard a number. I didn't know. I was going to look that up today, and
that's what they said on the news this morning.
I never heard a number.
And I can't remember how many tornadoes they said, but it's a lot.
It seemed like a lot.
So hopefully it'll be a while.
One's too many.
Yeah.
So.
All right. But other than that, what's going on?
I'm tired.
We were going to talk about a hotel situation. And you said you were going to try and look some information up on it, but it never happened.
I was just kidding.
We got our regular Winston here again in the chair, by the way. Our regular guest.
Those dogs get treated better than I do.
Our regular guest. He just wants to be petted. Anyway, back to the whole hotel
He's
thing.
looking at me through your legs.
Yeah. So what was the deal that you was telling me about the hotel?
It said if you were local, you could not rent a hotel room. They would not rent to a local person. It was just on Facebook, so you take that with whatever you want to take it with. But that was the discussion people were having on Facebook was in our local town. It was all town people. So.
But it's a chain hotel. It's not like a...
Well, they said none of the hotels would let you.
So they're saying all of them?
And then
so
some
you're
of
saying
them
like
would say, yes,
Comfort
they will.
Inn, a Holiday Inn, you're talking about all those?
I don't even know what we got.
I don't either. Several.
The ones out, what we call industrial, the ones out there, they said they wouldn't let you.
And what's the reasoning?
I don't know. I don't have a reason.
But I told you, though, if I call, there's people that just get, in whatever city it is, even a big city, they get a hotel room, even though they might live in the city, but they're getting a hotel for whatever reason.
Why does it matter? Just sell me a flipping room.
That's what I'm saying.
I rent me
So
a room.
if I call and say, hey, if y'all got plenty of rooms available for tonight, if I come over there and rent a single bed, whatever, and they, yeah, we're good. I mean, we got plenty of vacancies, all this kind of stuff. All right. So then when I get there and then I give them my license, they, I see that you live within 10 miles of the hotel. I'm sorry, we can't,
That's what people were saying. I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. That cannot be true.
I don't know.
They want your money.
Right.
Right.
So they're going to turn money away.
So they're trying to say it's because of kind of like tourist type thing. If you're from out of town, you're coming off the interstate, bam, these hotels are for those people, not for locals. No, they're saying something about drugs, was it not?
Yeah.
Or not being able to kick out A
that
tenant,
people
if they
come in and stay and stay and stay. Well, how can they if they don't pay?
if you get
If
one,
they pay, who cares?
yeah.
If they don't pay, kick them out.
If they pay for 3 nights and on that 4th night they're not leaving, what do? You call the law. Get them out.
You get them out.
They don't have the right to stay there, right? In the law, going to knock on that door and say, hey, y'all got to get out. Unless you're going to pay.
Unless they can claim it for so many days, it's theirs.
I don't know. I don't know how all that works. I would not be a tenant because you hear people, all these, when you rent to someone and then you can't get them out of your house.
And they have legal right because they've been there for however long.
Yeah, but it should be if I gave you, every state's different. You're giving them a notice, right? You know, hey, you
it's
got
the act of Congress to kick somebody out when they're renting.
Yeah.
So, squatters. Is that what it's called?
That's what it's called, a squatter.
Squatters.
But there's also people that's got a house that's vacant. Say you've got a grandparent that passed away. All right, nobody lives in their house now, but you take care of it. You have to go over there and, you know, cut the grass, just clean up every once in a while, all that stuff. Next thing you know, somebody's moved into it, and you're like, go over there, hey, this is my house. You cannot get it. I'm sorry, no, we're here. You can't kick them out. You can't get rid of them. It's not that easy.
That is
crazy. That's theft. Theft of property. That's what I call it. So if
but why are the laws like they are and they can do it?
I know. If you get in my truck and then you won't let me get in my truck, or you lock the door and you crack the window, so no, you're not getting in my. So the cops will be like, well, I'm sorry. There's nothing we can do.
Maybe they wouldn't be that way.
No, I mean, that's not that way for vehicles. That's what I'm saying. Why is it that way for houses?
I don't know.
We don't know about all this stuff. We're just speaking the way we feel, right?
It's the truth. If it's on the old face bag.
Well, I don't know about that. If it's on this,
that's
that,
what James
and other.
Spann calls it.
If it's on this, that, and other, it's true.
Oh.
Even though it's our opinion, it's true.
Take that with a grain of salt.
What do you think about Airbnbs?
Since we're talking about
hotels and
I've
that kind
seen
of thing.
them. How about I stay in one when I go to Costa Rica?
My thing is, how do you trust?
He just shot that down.
We're talking about Airbnbs. We're not talking about where we're going or doing anything. So, what I'm asking, do you feel safe? Like,
it's a little weird to me.
I'm going to Chattanooga. Let's look up Airbnbs and let's find the cheapest one. Here's one, $70 a night. We're going to stay 2 nights. It's actually a small little house behind these people's house. It's a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and a kitchenette. Say, hey, we'll do that. There's pictures, looks new, it's fine. Bam, we're there. Well, all these goofballs nowadays that have hidden cameras and stuff like that.
The camera thing is where I think.
Are you really going to trust going to some stranger's house and pay them money to stay?
It happens.
Especially if you're staying in their house. If it's a house and they've just got like an upstairs that's vacant and they rent out.
No, I ain't staying in there.
I'm not staying.
That ain't how that works.
What's a bed and breakfast? Isn't that the same thing? Do people live at the house mainly, but you're staying there also? Isn't that what
they have their own little room, but not like
who the people that
own it,
right? So that's okay.
Yeah.
Why is that okay?
Well, it's the same as a hotel. It's not that much different.
It's a lot different.
You don't know.
I'm not in a house. I'm not locked in a house with strangers that I'm renting from for a day or two. That we don't know.
Airbnb, they're not there.
Some of them rent out like part of. Are you sure about that?
Yeah, Airbnb, they're not there. You're talking about just renters, people that
No,
rent,
I'm just talking about
an Airbnb. The people that own it are not there.
You need to get on that phone right there and look that up and see if
they are not there.
If you can you not rent out an extra bedroom in your home?
That's for like people that need it for a month or something.
No, this is like, I know of like.
That's not an Airbnb. Listen. An Airbnb is when you just go rent a house.
Call it what you want to. Take the Airbnb and the B out. All right. And so I watched this on Game Day one time where they were talking about around some of these big coliseums on game day or 2 days leading up to it, some of these houses that people own around it, they are renting out. Now, I can't remember if it's the whole house or partially, a couple of bedrooms or whatever it is, for these people that's coming into these games from out of town.
People are drunk. They don't know.
I'm just saying. So it's a thing.
That's not like an Airbnb. An Airbnb, the people are not staying there. It's a house or a little condo thing that they're renting out.
I don't know if you know that for a fact. That's my question.
I do know that for a fact.
You're just saying that.
I know that for a fact. Some of our girls rent Airbnbs, and the people are not there with them.
I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying, all right.
You're talking about something totally different than an Airbnb.
I'm just saying, if I wanted to rent out.
Is not renting out your upstairs. That's not an Airbnb.
I think it is part of the Airbnb.
I don't think so.
I think you can get on there and you can look for the whole apartment / house that you want to rent, or if it's like just a room.
I don't think so.
I think it is. So are you saying you would stay or would not stay?
I would stay at an Airbnb, but I have thought about the camera thing. Makes me a little iffy. But I guess you just got to get over that. I don't know.
I don't think I'm doing it.
Well,
I just feel like I've listened and watched enough of these.
That's your problem. You got to quit.
Enough of these Datelines.
You got to quit that.
To where they've got their kid locked up down in the basement, tied up, and then now I'm going to rent, part of their house from them and think I'm safe.
You're not renting a part of a house for an Airbnb. You get the whole dang house.
All right, on their property, they have that small little studio apartment / whatever, one room, a kitchenette, and a bathroom.
And they just need a renter. They need somebody that's like a month renter.
I'm asleep in there, and I wake up, and I creep my eyes open barely, and somebody's standing at the foot of the bed. It's the owner of the house that's in front of me
because about college. How they go to these dorms and you're staying with somebody you don't know when you get a roommate and stuff.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about I just rented an Airbnb.
You're not renting an Airbnb.
People have an Airbnb on their property. It's like if you had a guest house. This is the example I'm using now. And I'm just saying as I wake up, dude is standing at the foot of my bed watching me sleep. Because guess what? He has keys to the place that I rented from him. And it's an Airbnb. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that could happen at a hotel. Because crazy people, they have the keys.
But I trust a hotel more than All right, when we're talking about hotels, the room on the outside or the room on the inside where the door is? Does it matter?
It doesn't bother me.
I'm not really afraid of people having access to my hotel room from outside.
No.
That's not a worry. But yeah, if you're going to talk about which is safer, of course, being inside of a hotel and you got hallways to where your room's at. Agree or disagree? Of course you're going to be safer.
I don't know. Somebody wants to get in, they're going to get in.
And but why are they going to pick me? Is it random? When these people do this, is it just random?
Why is somebody going to rent an Airbnb and come be at the end of your bed?
Because people are jacked up in the head.
Okay, same thing for a hotel.
Well, no,
they could be hiding in there.
There was people that had little corridors in between, like the walls.
See?
That they could make like a pee hole.
See?
Make a pinhole in there and look at you.
So,
that brings me to the story I wish I'd have.
Here we go.
I told you about it. I wish I'd have printed this off to talk about it. But I think it's New Jersey, New York. Well, I use my phone to record. All right, so my phone's not available. But I do have a laptop right here. But I don't have time to get on it now and turn it on and all that stuff. So I'll just speak of what I remember of it. I don't even remember where exactly it's at. New York, New Jersey, somewhere like that. A 32-year-old guy was being locked in this house by his stepmother for over 2 decades. And he weighed 68 pounds. I think they said 5'9". Either way, it's either 5'7".
And he couldn't take her and get out of there.
20 years ago, how old would he have been? 12? Exactly. So he's been locked in this house since then. He was going to school, and then he just stopped going to school, and I don't think nobody ever really checked up on him. But she would give him...
How's that?
I don't know. Well, how's anything?
If my kid didn't go to school, you got a phone call.
So he told them that he was hungry every day, all day, for years because he never got enough to eat. And she would only give him what I remember reading about it was 2 cups of water a day, which was not enough. And he remembers drinking sometimes out of the toilet, getting water out of the toilet to drink. Just, you got to think, 68 pounds. 68 pounds. Who knows what this guy looked like? I haven't seen any pictures, and maybe they.
Is this recent?
Yeah. It was like last Monday. The stepmom. I don't know if
Where's the dad?
Apparently there isn't. I don't know.
Well, if he was if
Maybe
she was a stepmom,
he might be buried in the backyard. If she's treating this kid like that.
I mean, if she was a stepmom, he's got to have. Where's his mom? Where's his dad?
I don't think they dived that deep in. It was just a headline because of this happening. At that time, I don't think nobody.
Well,
knew
now
all
I
the
need
ins
to
and
know.
outs. Well, I'm sure it's going to come out. Ask Nancy Grace. She's the one that'll check in on this.
Oh, never
Ain't she
mind.
the one? No, she does the people that get murdered and killed, right? She doesn't deal with just regular crazy stuff, which I don't care for her anyway.
Yeah.
But what do you think about that? How would you like to be? Oh, and the way he got loose was he caught the house on fire. He caught his room on fire.
Heck yeah, smart boy.
He mixed some stuff up.
Well, not really, but.
And I think I don't know if he was doing that to try and burn like what he was tied up with, or if he was actually just trying to start a fire so that he could get some, emergency workers to the house, somebody to the house to where maybe there's a chance to find it. I think he was on his last leg. You got to think, year after year after year. What if you're in year 3 of this, being locked at your house, and you don't know you got 17 plus more years that you're going to be locked in there?
That's why, how do you lock somebody up for that long?
You got to ask her.
I need Netflix.
Oh, you're talking about some stuff that'll come out. Yeah, it'll be all over the place. Netflix, Hulu, Paramount, wherever.
I sent you a show last night that we needed to watch on Hulu.
I saw
Were you
that.
already asleep? I sent you a
I don't
text.
think I was
I don't
asleep,
think you were.
but I did get the text. But I didn't reply because then I thought we was going to get into a reply thing.
No, I knew you wouldn't reply, but we do that all the time. Because we know we can't remember. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
We know we can't remember, so we text each other shows all the time. We'll just put the show and what it's on, and we'll say nothing else.
Why did you think it would be good?
I can't remember.
You really?
Yeah, really.
Did we talk about the one we just finished on our last episode?
Yes.
We talked about zero.
We didn't finish that.
Day 0. Yeah, we did.
Well, then I don't remember what happened.
Still can't think of the dude's name that's in it. Why can I not think of his? He was in The Godfather. The original Godfather. Godfather 1. When they went back in time, he was, I can't even think of the Godfather's name. I almost said
names.
Cornholio.
Cornholio?
Cornholio. It's nothing. Isn't that Beavis and Butthead?
Yes.
I don't know where that came from.
I'll keep that
Oh,
comment
my
to
goodness.
myself.
So anyway. But what else?
I don't know. I just feel like we've been on the go. I'm just ready to lay her down.
I know, it was almost like you gave me a deadline. I told you, I was like, look, it's a busy weekend. I don't know when we're going to squeeze this in. And then it didn't happen yesterday, which was Saturday. And then, so I told you earlier, I said, you realize, like, right after church, we got to do this. And then we get stuck at church because we have to finish part of the event. And so when we got here, you got here before I did.
And I'm like, come on or I'm done.
Yeah, you sent me like a deadline, 15 minutes.
I'm in here. I'm waiting. Get your honey in here and get this rolling.
And then you didn't even give me 15. The next thing I saw, it said 5 minutes or I'm out. And I'm like, what's up with that?
I said 5-minute countdown because I said 1:15, we're recording. Well, it was 1:10, so I was giving you a warning. 5-minute countdown. And I'm out.
So if we reversed that and I told you that, what would you do?
I'd just say bye.
You'd be like, oh, well.
Bye. I'm out.
Why?
I don't know. I have to go back again tonight at 4:30.
So you just need a nap.
I just want to close my eyes.
You just need a nap to refresh,
I don't know.
recharge your batteries, and you'll be fine. You think that's what's going to do it?
I didn't even do nothing.
So
I didn't even do nothing, and I'm so flipping tired.
no, it's just
like I can't hold my eyes open.
You did, but it's a matter of being there. Because there's certain tasks that we have to do at certain times, kind of, Basically,
we were just behind the scenes.
Yeah, and basically feeding everybody at this.
Yeah.
So you've got a break in between, but it's not like a break where you're going to leave and go somewhere, can go home, whatever. So,
well, if it hadn't have been the weather, we could have recorded yesterday during that break.
Yeah, everything yesterday got pushed up.
Yeah, it all
so
got
instead of it lasted
into...
all night long, it got pushed to where, hey, at 3 o'clock, it's over.
Yeah, because we usually have a big break.
Yeah.
And then yesterday we didn't. So then we had people canceling on us before it even started.
Yeah. That's a thing, too, when you cancel an event.
I know people are scared of weather, but, I mean...
But when do you decide to cancel? Hey, schools are the world's worst. You get a little bit of...
With weather, I wish they would leave the kids in there, because to me, some kids are better off.
Oh, you're talking about like a tornado?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't need to release them.
They're better off at school than they are at home when mom and daddy's at work, because they can't get off work.
Do you think it's the school not wanting to have the responsibility of having those kids there?
I don't. I don't think
that's it.
No. I think it's... Yeah. I think it's because they've let them out before in the middle, or not in the middle, but like when something was about to happen and then they get stuck and they're like, oh, we shouldn't have done that. And then, so now they're just like at the drop of a hat. We just ain't doing it.
But that goes back to the whole thing of being responsible. So are they afraid if they leave them at school
and if something
that
happens,
the responsibility falls on them if something happens?
Well, I mean, it does.
How many times?
Some of those kids are more safe at school than they are at home.
Tornadoes hit anything, right? But you hear about houses. How many times do they hit schools? I know they do.
Yeah.
I get that. But I'm just saying, I feel like, hey, if it's any time during the day, unless
we
it's
could just sit in the hall with a book on the head.
But it's easy to say this, though. But if I was, I might want to send them home, too, if I was in charge of it. Because
I wouldn't want that responsibility of having them at school. No way. But
if you've got a 2-hour... heads up and they know, hey, it's going to hit. It's going to be rough. Then, like, send them out.
I still feel like they're safer at school than they are at home. Some of them.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Because you're sending them home with trailers.
If you live in a mobile home, a double wide, anything like that, great place to live, but terrible for when
not for weather.
When weather comes. I mean, you get high winds like that, yeah. And we saw that in a town just down the road from yesterday.
I seen that was a bus had flipped up on a
like on a roof type thing.
Roof.
Yeah,
I was going to go back and look that up.
About that. So the picture yesterday we were talking about that you were saying that it was trees down across the road, and I said that looked like the bottom part of a trailer.
Yeah,
yeah, it was a trailer.
Was it?
Yeah. So it got flipped on its side and was scooted across the road.
Crazy. It hit close to our youth minister.
Yeah,
but he was good, so that's good.
But you've got people that are really afraid. And you say storm, and they're like looking over their shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when is it? What is that? When is it supposed to be here?
Yeah.
And they get prepared. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with overreacting about it because, hey, it's better to be safe, right? But I'm just not that way. I'm just like, I don't want to get caught up in any kind of major storm, but it's
you made us get our helmets out.
Yeah, I'll be prepared. We've got 3 helmets, and I got a
By the way, you got to put them back up. I want them off the table.
Yeah, I've still got them.
They're on the table. We got to unpack.
Yeah, I was telling Amanda.
I packed a backpack. Jody packed a backpack.
Yeah, I told her yesterday when we finally got home and we're trying to because we both wear contacts.
I want to take my eyes out so bad last night or yesterday evening.
Yeah, it's like 4:00 and it's like, and with it getting summertime or spring, it got a little bit of pollen and all this kind of stuff, and your eyes are just seem like they're foggy, and I'm just ready to put my glasses on. But are like, what if we need to leave and go somewhere where it's safer and all this stuff? But I was telling you, so I had everything set up almost like a firefighter to where because we changed clothes too. I was like, if we're gonna leave, I got to set up to where, you know how the firefighters used to could just like step into their boots and they pulled up their, you know, their outfit and all that kind of stuff. But we had the 3 little helmets. Hey, now the helmets are a good idea.
Oh yeah, I
Now,
mean,
I put a helmet on yesterday, a
Yeah.
bike helmet, and I look like a goofball. But hey, if I'm a live goofball, I'm good with that, aren't you?
Yeah.
We got hard hats, 2 hard hats. We had 2 hard hats, a bicycle. Well, I guess it's 2. One of them kind of looks like maybe more like a skateboard helmet or something. So yeah, we had backpacks full of I had battery chargers.
I had the computer.
I had
I had
Roby
phone
extra.
chargers, which I knew if the power went off, we couldn't use the phone chargers. But I knew if it was even getting close that I'd go ahead and plug mine up.
Yeah.
And then I had the computer because I knew that you could run the computer from the hotspot on your phone if we needed to watch weather, you know, bigger if there were several people wanting to watch or whatever.
And I've got that little power bank
Yeah.
that
so,
you can charge 3 phones at a time off of it.
Yeah, so I knew.
And then I've also got that.
Then I packed tennis shoes because I wore sandals, but I packed tennis shoes.
I've got the Crank weather radio.
Yeah.
It's got all.
Where was that?
I had it in the backpack.
In your backpack?
Yeah.
Better.
I was ready to go. Going to test it out for the first time.
Mm.
I don't know how much you have to.
Is it a weather radio? No, it's just a radio, right? It's not a
Well,
weather
it's
radio.
it's got a weather radio feature on it, and then it's a regular radio. Then it's got 2 like LED. One's like a spotlight, and one's like a regular light. It's a little thing that you twist out, and it's just like a reading light. It's pretty neat for as cheap as it was, like $25 or something. But hey, a little bit I fooled with.
I'm gonna let you sit there and crank it though.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't want to crank it.
Can you crank it for like 30 seconds and it lasts for 15 minutes? Or like every 2 or 3 minutes, or are you having to put a little...
You should have started cranking it yesterday morning, probably.
Yeah, I don't think you have to do all that. I don't think it's that. I don't think you can crank it for an hour and it's going to last you for 3 days. It's not like that.
Well, that's what I want.
Well, I'm sure. I want somebody to crank it for me. And so I don't want to be the cranker.
Not it.
No.
Nose goes.
What does that mean?
Not it. Nose goes. The first one touches their nose is not it.
No.
Nose
I've never
goes.
heard that.
Oh, my gosh. How old are you?
Old enough? I guess no. Was that a kid's game?
We do it all the time still.
No. I don't know. For kids.
No. In the office.
Is that an adult game?
In the office. We'll do. Nose goes.
You know what? I wish I'd have thought of that. You're talking about adult games.
Well, you better clarify that one.
Well, I'm about to if you let me.
Well.
So we're at Walmart. Nicholas said, you got to come over here to the board game section. They got on the aisle right there. And you go over there and so I took a picture of every game they've got over there. And there's some questionable games for adults at Walmart. Maybe I'll read off next time we do this.
Maybe not.
Yeah. So I just wanted you to be aware of that.
I know some card games they got.
Card games?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what's... Not bad.
Not nice.
Oh, yeah. You talking about like question games?
I think so. Some humanity, something, I don't know, because we don't do.
I just didn't know they had these. It's a big enough section. I was shocked, but anyway.
Maybe that's a new thing.
But I said, I don't ever even think about cards anymore. Like, that would be a great thing. If the power's off, you ain't got nothing to do. Where's a deck of cards in this house?
But my friend told me yesterday, she said that she was packing their bag and they had games. And I said, well, I'm not taking any games. She said, y'all should take cards. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Brandy. Shout out.
Yeah, we ought to do that. Because we used to play rummy.
Mm-hmm. You won't do nothing now.
Me?
Yeah.
Busy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If the power's out and nothing going on, yeah, you got time to play cards.
Well, then I'm going to go turn the power out and we can play cards and dominoes because I love some dominoes and now you won't play them.
Hey, we
anymore.
got on a kicker with dominoes several years ago. We had some friends that we started playing. Matter of fact, it was around my 40th birthday.
That was how long ago?
Yeah, it was actually 9 years ago. Thank you. So anyway, we had some friends move off about an hour away or a little
Yeah.
further. And so we actually went to their house with some other couples and we played dominoes one night.
Several times.
Yeah.
We've done it several times.
Yeah. And that was fun.
That was a long way to go.
But I don't even remember how you play. You'd have to give me, just like Rummy, I don't
love
remember.
it.
You always have to give me a refresher on that. Is it Rummy 5000? Is that what we played? Who
That's
would get
what
to
we
the-
play because that's what my mama taught me to
Yeah.
play.
But
So
you can play
have,
to
like, wild
1,000
card.
or play
Oh, yeah.
anything.
You play to whatever you want to play.
But it depends on the wild card, right?
Yeah.
What you want to put it at. Or if you've got
No.
wild cards.
Yeah.
Was there another one besides Rummy that we played? There was another one, right?
We play spades, but you got to have
Spades.
couples. You got to do that with couples. Rummy, you don't. Rummy, you have just 2 players.
Spades, you got to have more than 2?
Yeah, because you have teams. You bid. You bid. Like, how many books can you get? 2. Well, I can get 4. So me and you's going to do 6. And then there's like 13 altogether or something like that. I don't remember. It's been a while since
Okay.
that. I love to play card games.
I've never learned how to play poker or anything like that. I think I would like poker if I knew how to play it, but because I know guys that play poker and like, I'm sure it's fun and everything, but I ain't got it. When you're talking about a flush, a royal flush,
Well, like
what,
some of the,
I don't
like
know what that is.
Yahtzee is when you got 2 of a kind, 3 of a kind, and
that's
a
a
full
board
house.
game though, isn't it?
Yahtzee's a dice game, but it's like you got a full house and you got a straight and you got a small straight and a large straight.
I don't know what that is.
That's like poker too, ain't it?
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
know. What's a small straight? What's a straight?
1, 2, 3, 4. It's like in order.
What's that other thing? Did you say a flush?
I
What-
didn't say a flush.
what did you
I
say?
said a full house.
What's a full house? I thought that was 1, 2, 3, 4.
A full house is where you have 3 of one and 2 of another. Like if you have 3 5s and 2 2s, that's a full house. Or at least on Yahtzee it is.
No clue.
Yeah, I like it.
No clue.
I get hooked on that on the phone sometimes when I don't have anything to do.
Like, well,
I'll go
blackjack.
play Yahtzee.
Do you? Really?
I like Yahtzee.
What about blackjack? 21.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. That's over too fast.
I don't like anything that like lasts forever.
I know.
I like, hey,
You don't like, yeah.
that's the you win
And
or
you want it
lose.
fast paced.
You win or lose
You
and
want it
start it.
fast paced.
I don't like. I'm like, come on,
you don't like it
don't think about
slow.
it. Too. Yeah,
Just do it.
That's right.
Just do it.
That's right.
How do we get off on this?
I don't know. We've gone way off the beaten path.
Way off the beaten path.
Yeah, we got 2 dogs in here.
This
by
is
the
just a hodgepodge of, I'm tired, let's go.
way. I think Coco's ready to go out. We locked her in here.
And I told you not to.
You're right. Now
For
she's gonna
the
wander.
simple fact that
See
she's
if she
wandering
comes-
around.
Yeah. Maybe this is recording this time, and you might be able to see on YouTube that what
She's
Coco
not
looks
coming
like.
around.
Yeah, she's scared of you. 'Cause you
Good.
got onto her.
Good. She needs to go get in her bed.
Man, there she goes.
I wish you mind like that.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't. Well, I mean, I don't. I do everything right, so I don't have to be told what to do.
Is that right?
That's exactly right.
Okay. Okay.
What else you got on the agenda? On today's agenda
I don't
before
have
we go?
anything.
How long we been recording? How long does it feel
I
like?
say 20 minutes.
32 minutes.
Oh, see, we're right at it. We're good. Y'all don't want us no more than 30 minutes.
What's one more topic?
We ain't done much this week, but get ready for D now.
Yeah.
Which we didn't even get ready for it.
All right.
Nothing. That's all we got.
That's it.
Short and sweet today.
Yep. We're just
It'll
talking
be
about
good.
life. This is what these episodes are about. Whether you like it or don't like it. This is what
Give
we
us
talk
something
about.
to talk about. Give us a topic.
You know, I come up with no, because you tell me
I don't
you don't
like
like
topics. I just want to get in here and talk. But not today because I'm tired and I can tell it.
So you tell me you don't like topics, but then you're going to throw it out there to anybody that watches or listens. And
Yeah,
say, hey,
they
give me a
might have
topic.
something interesting to talk about. You just want to talk about news.
Look, I would.
You want to talk about news and stories and
No, if I could get you
I
to
don't like
talk about
news.
politics, we would
I'm
start talking about
out.
politics.
I'm out.
And I would play you some headlines, some news footage some just,
I'm just
20-minute
not in it.
videos
I'm just not in
and
it.
then get your point
That's
of
your
view.
thing. That's
It
not
is.
our thing. Politics is not our thing. That's your thing. I'm like, Jody, who do I vote for? Okay, let's go.
Not really.
Yeah, really.
No, not when it comes to like the main ones, but when the other
Yes,
ones.
really.
No. Well, that's your
It's
fault
okay.
then. Why don't you keep up with it?
'Cause I don't.
So if I'd have told you to vote for Biden,
I said no.
if I said vote for Kamala
I
or
said
Kamala,
no.
well then,
Maybe we shouldn't tell people who we vote for.
I don't care. I voted for Trump. I don't care.
Oh, Lord. Nobody's going to listen to us now. He's bad.
No, he's not.
All right. We've kept them enough.
Yeah, well, I think, did I say episode what?
I have no clue.
36.
136.
I think this is 36.
What did I say? 136?
Yeah. It would be if you hadn't made a stop for a little while. I think we should record twice a week.
You've
That's what
lost
I
your
think.
mind.
I think we should.
I can't go live every night and record twice a week.
Well,
I'm getting wore out.
have you been watching any more of your girl and her husband, that podcast they've got?
Jeff and Jordan?
Jeff and Jordan.
Yeah.
Do they come out once a week?
Yeah.
How's that work? How long is their episodes? Are they an hour long?
I don't know if they're quite an hour. Maybe like 45 minutes or something.
But see, when you have those, there's almost basically a production crew that handles all of their stuff.
Yeah.
So they don't have to do any editing or anything. It's like topics. Well, I know they talk on their own, but there is going to be some little topics because they play like a little game at the end or in the middle, don't they?
Sometimes
Yes.
they do questions.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's a lot easier for somebody when they're doing
but
that.
they don't always do topics. They talk about what they've done during the week and
Well, that's what I say.
like
They
their
do-
kids going to do sports or whatever like that.
Yeah, but some of the stuff is laid out there for them. So,
I guess I don't know.
yeah.
I mean, I don't feel like it is.
Well, just like they don't have to
But
go
he got a new job. TV. He's a TV person, so I mean, he knows.
My
stuff.
point being is like they don't go out and get sponsorships and stuff, but they already have it because they have a team behind them.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
probably hired by whoever to do this, like most of them are. Must be nice.
We only
right?
know him from Big Brother.
From how long ago?
Oh,
Has it been 20 years?
yeah.
Speaking of Big Brother.
No, it has not been 20 years. No, not them because I was trying to think how their kid was, and I can't remember now.
Well,
And that was a couple of years after they got off of Big Brother.
all right. Well,
So-
we're out of here. Appreciate you listening. Check us out on YouTube. We're having problems with the video. So let me tell you this real quick before we go.
Okay.
I know we're trying to wrap this thing up. So on TikTok, I put a video out for the other podcast.
I'm out.
And it's, let me tell you what the subject is.
No.
We talked about this, Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll picks his nose. They're at a UFC fight. You got President Trump. This was before President Trump was inaugurated, right? So this is probably October, November of last year. So you got Trump, you got Elon Musk, I think Kid Rock, all that, and then behind them you've got
What a great combination.
you got Jelly Roll, and he's just behind it. What do you mean?
Great combination.
Oh, anyway, he just starts digging in that nose, right? And picks his nose right in front of everybody and then eats it. It's horrible. Anyway, I put a video of that out in is it template or template? How do you say it? That you use off of TikTok.
A template.
Yeah, template. So yeah, it's Eddie Murphy looking up, and it's like looks perfectly as he's doing it, and he's like got this look on his face, and there's just music playing, right? There's no words or anything like that. So I just put it out there, and it had 900 views in like no time, right? And it just stopped. And then I went under a little thing, and it said that video was restricted
Yep.
to no one under to certain audiences. And then when you go into it, it says audience of 18 years or younger can't view it because of the profanity. Everything it was saying was about the language used in the video. So it gave you the option to
Appeal it.
appeal it. And so I did that because it's music. It's just, there's no words in the music or anything. I was thinking they were going to do it for like the graphic nature. If you're sensitive and he's picking his nose, because you know how it is nowadays. Whatever. So I appealed it, and then just a little while ago I just happened to look on everything, and I got approved, and so they took the restriction off. So take that, TikTok.
They just heard you.
I just found,
boom,
yeah,
your whole
oops,
account's gone.
Oops. So
Bye-bye.
I just found that interesting.
Yeah.
Is it not? And I got blocked on one of the YouTube videos because of a copyright infringement.
You got to pay royalties.
Oh, yeah. But you know what? But it was just on YouTube. When I did the same video on TikTok or on
That's because
Facebook,
TikTok
it was
has
fine.
their own music that you can choose from, and then you go to a different platform, and that music's doesn't have the right to that mute. That platform doesn't have the right.
But this wasn't
the
music.
same
This wasn't
music
licensing music. This was off of a movie, a clip from a movie
Right.
that I put on there, like a 15-second
I
clip.
know, I've done that before.
But it was fine with all other social
Yeah.
media. But YouTube said,
Yep.
not today, Jack.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't get it. I
I'm
don't
going to
understand.
take a nap.
All right. Thanks for watching and listening.
See
you
y'all.
next time.
Peace out,
Bye-bye.
Girl Scout.